Hello, my name is Marcus Day, and today I'll be talking to you about building the ultimate athlete in East Germany.
We'll first start with some background information. What was the GDR? The GDR was the German Democratic Republic formed by the Soviets. How did it form? Germany was broken down into four sectors after the German surrender of World War II. Following the German surrender to the Allied powers, Germany was occupied and divided into four zones. Each of the main Allied powers, the United States, the Soviet Union, Great Britain, and France, was responsible for the administration of their own specific zone. In 1947, the United States and Great Britain merged their zones. After tensions arose between the Soviets and the Western powers, the German Federal Republic, commonly known as West Germany, was created out of the American, British, and French zones. This combined three zones. The Soviets then oversaw the creation of the German Democratic Republic, commonly known as East Germany, out of their zone of occupation in October of 1949. The United States quickly responded by stating its position that the GDR did not have any legal validity to being its own country, and the United States continued to support the West German government during these times. The government of the GDR was a socialist republic. It was created on October 7th, 1949. This government ran almost as an extension of the government in the Soviet Union. The Socialist Unity Party of Germany, the SED, was created by the merger of the Social Democrats and the Communists. What was the world's perception of the GDR? The world did not have a very positive view. It was an irrelevant country in terms of power and status, and people did not want to live in East Germany. The country was very small, smaller than the state of Ohio by 2,000 square miles. The country had numerous economic hardships. Citizens could not afford housing, and the East German mark was essentially worthless when valued next to the Denmark of West Germany due to inflation. After the war, all the industrialization plants, factories were on the East German side. Therefore, they should have had a head start on the West German economy, as the West German economy had to rebuild everything, had to rebuild their entire infrastructure. And to this day, the East German economy has still not caught up with where the West German economy is. The East Germany was a command economy in which all decisions were made by the governing Communist Party. Citizens wanted to leave the country. They were constantly searching for greener pastures, and when their applications were denied traveling outside of the GDR, they would take extreme measures in an effort to escape, often ending up dead. Now, this is the Wonder Girls. Who were they? The Wonder Girls were East Germany's pride and joy. They accomplished many athletic feats that should not have been possible. How did they do it? Women typically achieve peak freestyle swim speed at the ages of 20 to 21. Karen Nishika broke the world breaststroke record at the age of 14. Rika Reich set four world records at the age of 15. Yulkai Richter set 14 world records by the age of 16. At the 1972 Olympic Games, U.S. swimmer Shirley Babsoff recalls the East German swimmers being nothing impressive, but in 1973 they were beating the Americans by as much as 5 whole body lengths, and this is according to the LA Times. In 1976, the U.S. women's Olympic team set 9 American records, only to see them eclipsed by an East German swimmer that claimed 10 gold medals out of the 11 individual races. The Wonder Girls were set up to be something that East Germany could rally behind and show pride for their country. Gaining world status through sport. State Plan 1425 was introduced. In this state plan,
By the summer of 1976, the world took notice as East Germany, a relatively small country with very few previous Olympic wins, triumphed with an impressive 40 gold medals. The women's swim team alone won 11 of 13 swim events, an unprecedented feat. According to PBS.org, U.S. swimmer Wendy Bagoli describes her opponent's performance at the Montreal Olympics. "They were very strong women. They were very fast. We thought they were machines. Here we were, four of America's best athletes ever put together on a team, and every single day the East German women were winning every event."
The Warner Girls were set up to be something that East Germany could rally behind and show pride for their country. Gaining world status through sport. State Plan 1425 was introduced. In this state plan, the East German government took young athletes away from their families and shipped them off to camps. At these camps, the athletes did nothing but train, similar to an IMG academy in the United States. They would learn very little, and most of their day was structured around getting better at sports, training, and practices. To make their athletes superior, they began pumping performance enhancing drugs into all competing athletes as young as 10 years old. The steroid that they used was oral turnable, a steroid approved for some illnesses, but it was never meant to be a performance enhancer. Athletes were told that they were vitamins, and they did not know any better, as they did not have any parental supervision because they were shipped off to private schools, academies, or camps, however you want to think of it. It's all basically the same, as they were shipped off to these camps. The camps were run by the government. There's strict supervision, and the kids didn't know any better. They trusted the adults as they didn't have their parents to turn to and ask if this was right. Carol Nasuka remembers being given 10 tablets a day, 3 times a day, for a total of 30 tablets a day. Heidi Krieger was given 518 tablets of oral turnable the year she was Euro champion, which converts to 2,590 milligrams. The aftermath. Many, if not all, the East German athletes have experienced long-term health consequences. Athletes have suffered severe depression, heart conditions, degenerative bone disease, and infertility. Many had sex changes, and others fell into drinking and drug addictions and suicide. The testosterone from the steroids took the femininity away from the women, leaving them almost permanently unable to have children, and it caused men to grow breasts, which then converted, which then factored into them having sex changes. Communist East Germany struggled to provide the basic necessities for its people.
And in conclusion, it seems that many countries use sports as a way to make a name for themselves. The Olympics was a way for East Germany to showcase something good happening in their country. However, the reality is that these athletes, these young people, were abused by their government and taken advantage of for their abilities and drive to be successful. They were victims of a program that in the end didn't really help East Germany at all. From the 1970s until the wall came down in the 1990s, East Germany struggled in all areas. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. If you have any questions, you can text me.